Only going to speak on it because a lot of people are going through it right now, and I'm realizing, kind of like the video I did on false advertisement, and I guess this idea that life is supposed to get easier when you follow God. And I just want to touch on something that's really unique. Let me say this. Following God can be very painful sometimes. Okay? It can almost feel like you're stressed out. You're going to sometimes feel like you're going crazy. Okay? I know it's not popular, but it's going to sometimes feel like you're forcing something. Because literally in following God, you feel like you're going against the grain. And I'm doing this, I'm speaking on this in particular because I know that, a lot of people have entrusted me with their ear, and you guys too as well. We all need this. In this life, in following God, we have to remember James chapter 1, through the testing of our faith through experience. This is what this is all about. The Bible says, when you run into trials, tribulations, troubles of any kind, consider it an opportunity to rejoice. Consider it an opportunity for great joy, because you have an opportunity to grow. The Bible says mature, grow in endurance, grow in maturity, growing in inner peace. The Bible says until you're needing and lacking nothing. The Bible says through the testing of your faith through experience. There's a real experience in this walk with God that you're not going to be able to skip. And what I've learned is through all the experiences, you can make it about yourself, and it can become very difficult. Like you're making it all about you. Why me? Why I got to go through this? Why did he choose me? All that great stuff. I hear you. But what I've learned is God is revealing himself to us through it all. And he's revealing himself through everything. The pain, the trial, the trouble, the good, the bad, and the ugly. He's going to reveal himself to us. And through everything we go through, we're going to see more and get to know more of him. It's like, again, I always say, how can you get to know God, the provider who meets all of your needs, if you never have experienced lack? How can you meet God, the healer, if you've never been sick? It's one of those things where you have to understand that the Bible is, for the most part, one of the many reasons it's been given to us is to help us in times of pain and suffering. This is a real walk. And I don't want us to keep growing up in a culture where people make it seem like this thing gonna be peaches and cream. That's false advertisement. And I'm gonna put a flag on a play. Nah, sometimes this thing gets really crazy, and you need people to pray over your mind because you feel like you're struggling. Let me give you one example and I'm done. The Bible says Moses was called by God to deliver these people, do all these powerful things. He's older, he has a speech impediment, tons of insecurities, tons of issues within himself. He questions himself like crazy. He gets there and he says out loud, God, it seems like ever since you sent me here, ever since you called me here, things got worse for everybody. Things have just gotten worse, period. And he's frustrated. It sounds like some of us, it seems like ever since God called us, it seems like things got crazy. And then you're living in a society, you're living in a culture, people make it seem like if God has called you, everything's going to be okay. That's not true. This thing can make you feel like you're going crazy, but you just have to know that you know that God has sent you. And this is what God said to Moses. Listen, in a paraphrase, I'm paraphrasing. This is not about you, Moses. I'm getting ready to move in such a way where everybody's going to know my name. Everybody's going to know I did this. Everybody's going to know that I am the one who delivers. I'm the one who saves. I'm the one who sets free. I am going to humble whoever I have to. And it's so beautiful that when we take the focus off of us, I want to say this because somebody needs it. I needed it myself. The outcome has nothing to do with me. The outcome is simply of the simple fact that God said his word will not return back to him void. If he said it, he will do it. If he spoke it, the Bible says he will make it good. And so listen, any of you guys, if God told you to do something and God has told you to move, God has called you and you're doing something that you feel like It is not easy. It is stretching you. If he told you to do it, his word will not come back void. Meaning if God spoke it, it's a guaranteed success. Just stay encouraged. Remember, it's not about you. It's about God getting the glory. And when they look at you one day, they say, it must have been God. Only God could have done that. You see what I'm saying? So the journey continues. The journey continues. And to anybody out there, I'll say this, because we talk about this all the time. So I'll say this to the person who may, watch this video one day. I know you're struggling. And I know you're frustrated because you seem like, you're doing everything you think you should do. You're trying your hardest. You're doing your best to follow God. And you're confused because everybody around you is telling you things are supposed to get easier, and that's not true. Things don't get easier. Your perspective changes. God said, focus your mind on things above, not earthly things. Keep your mind stayed on him, and you will receive peace. It's a perspective change. Just know that God has called you. He's going to fight for you. He's going to advocate for you. Your job is to carry out the assignment. The cross was never supposed to be easy or light, but his yoke is easy, his burden is light. None of his instructions are burdensome. Hear the voice of the Lord and know that you will be okay. The grace of God will empower you. You're right where you need to be.